prefacing note to these verses, we have a sequence of Weqatal verbs here. wəhōṣētî, wəhiṣṣaltî, wega'alti, velakachti. I'm also referring to the next verse. Vida'atem, veheveti, okay, venatati. Okay, these are sequence of Weqatal verbs, as you can see. We're used to the vital narrative. Vayomer, vayas, vayelech, vayakom, vayiven. That's the vital narrative. Okay, and the Weqatal sequence is a narrative sequence for here future-oriented events. Okay, these are things that will happen. Okay, God is describing what is going to transpire in the future. Okay, that's kind of a context for these three verses. The Weqatal verbs here are talking mainly, or mainly about the actions that God is going to do for the people of Israel. Okay, so wəhōṣētî, wəhiṣṣaltî. Okay, in both cases you can see that we have the Hiphil verb. Okay, wəhōṣētî, I will cause you to come out. You can see the yod originating from the vav here. The root is yod tzadi aleph, and this is a Hiphil. Okay, so I will cause you to come out. wəhōṣētî, wəhiṣṣaltî, both in the Hiphil. Here you can see the nun of nun, tzadi, and lamed marked by the dagesh in the tzadi. Okay, and the Hiphil, wəhiṣṣaltî. Okay, now a little bit about the issue of these two markings above the word mitachat. V'hotzeti etchem mitachat sivlot Mitzrayim. So let's break mitachat a little bit. So we have the mem and the dagesh following it. You can see that the word the letter tav here has a dagesh, and that is the dagesh that follows the mem, because the mem is really the preposition min, from. And when contracted to the following consonant, that nun, when affixed to the following word, the nun assimilates into the following word. So we have mitachat, and the dagesh in the tav is marking that nun that assimilates. Okay, mitachat. And note that we have two markings like this, and that might cause someone to wonder where should the accent be. And when I say someone, I'm not just referring to Anne, I'm saying that regular, every week Torah reading in synagogue people might have an issue a little bit with that because of their tradition. One of the differences, for instance, between my tradition and, for instance, I would say Jews that came from North Africa, when they see this kind of, when they see this two accents, I read it differently than they. Let me explain in what way. First of all, it is not just here in mitachat. You can see that we have the same in nasati et yadi. You see this as well, Anne? Very good. Now, the issue here is that we have two very similar looking markings of the tamim. Both of them look like an apostrophe directing to the left or starting from right to left. Okay, when you can see that the top left side is a little bit is leaning forward, leaning leftwards, okay, because we write right to left, but they're different. Okay, one of them is the pashta, and the other is the kadma. Now, the difference between them is important. Why? Because pashta is disjunctive ta'am, and kadma is conjunctive ta'am. Pashta is kind of a yellow light as far as the reading, and the kadma is a green light. Okay, the kadma is telling us continue, don't stop, and the pashta is telling us do a little bit of a stop. Okay, now the reason we have two of these is to tell me that even though the accent is here, I should note that the tam itself is a pashta. I should pause a bit. והוצאתי אתכם מתחת סבלות מצרים, והצלתי אתכם מעבודתם, וגאלתי אתכם בזרוע נטויה ובשפטים גדולים, ולקחתי אתכם לי לעם, והייתי לכם לאלוהים. Okay, so I should pause, right, slightly pause, not a big pause, but that the putting both of them is telling me that the accent is penultimate, but it is a disjunctive tam, providing me both these, not to mix, because if it is not at the end of the word, it is kadma, because the pashta is at the end of the word. Etchem, 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 here, etchem, okay, etchem, all of these are with the pashta. As opposed to the kadma that we have, which is not at the end of the word, venatati, okay, not really at the end. So if I have twice these, it means that I pause slightly, but I accent the penultimate syllable. I know, confusing, okay? I did not decide the system, I just teach it. It has its advantages and disadvantages. In as much as my friend, Dr. Avi Dantesky, which we had, in his edition, decided not to put the tamim. Okay, he doesn't have the tamim in his edition. I said to him, it's for me, I'm a conservative guy. I like my text of the Torah with the tamim. But he decided that his edition is not going to have the tamim because of many people not knowing enough about the system and being confused by it. Now, going back to my previous remark about other readers reading it differently, because it looks like two accents in a word, North African tradition of reading the Torah kind of stresses both, okay? And that's how they do, okay? They kind of stress both the ultimate and the penultimate, okay? If we have, maybe I'll let you listen to a North African Torah reader reading this tam. They even have a different word for it, okay? Different term for when you have two accents like that. That's how they mark it. Okay. Let's see.
If you take away the mem, just leaving tachat, wouldn't it just have one accent on the end and no other accent?
It doesn't. That's not the issue. Okay.
Yeah.
If they have, if the mem is there or not. Okay. The issue is the fact that the word itself is a penultimate word. Tachat is a segolate word. It would still have a penultimate.
Yeah.
You were saying?
The word tachat, I think I remember it means under.
Yes, that's the origin for tuches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone who's heard the Yiddish, so to speak, word tuches, which means behind, behind as in the part of your body you sit upon when you take a seat, okay, you're behind, and that's Yiddish tuches, and that's biblical Hebrew tachat, because that means under. Okay, so that's about this word. Anecdotal information, but interesting. The reason is the fact that the word itself is penultimate, because it's a segolate word. Okay, originally in Proto-Semitic, the word was only monosyllabic. It had only one syllable. By the way, still does in Arabic. Tahta tawla in Arabic, under the table. Okay, when you do something not above board in English, you would say, but you do it under, you do it like on the low. You're not like doing it officially. Like the relationship Israel has with some of the countries in the Middle East, tahta tawla, under the table. Okay, so that's a little bit about this word, a little bit, but still more than more than enough. And okay, let's see the next verse, verse 7. Frank, how are you?
I am here.
Very good. Okay.
Velakachti eschem li laam wəhōṣētî le Elohim
והייתי לכם לאלוהים.
lachem le Elohim.
Lelohim. We don't hear the aleph.
Gotcha. L'Elohim.
Right. You can see that the aleph has no vowel pointing.
Right.
Usually, we do hear the aleph at the beginning of the word Elohim.
Right.
But here, following the le here, when the lamed has the tzere, the aleph here becomes silent. So lelohim.
Okay.
Go ahead.
L'Elohim. Vidatem. Ki. Ani. Adonai. Elohechem. Hamotzi.
Right, there you go. You went for the, now you're gonna give away challah. This is hamotzi etchem, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Eschem. Mita chat. Let's see. Sivlot.
Mm-hmm.
Mitzrayim.
Okay.
Mitachat doesn't have either one of those accent marks.
It does have here.
Oh, I don't. Oh.
You can see this is okay. A different tom. Okay. But it's nonetheless it does have, and you can see that in both cases, it is the tom is penultimate. Okay. This is the tam here is when you have this tam that looks like a comma under the letter. Okay, it depends on which tradition of tamim, but it has several names. Tarcha, for instance, is one of the names. Okay. So that's the Tarcha, or in the Ashkenazi tradition, this is called Tipcha. Tipcha, yeah, or Tarcha. In the non-Ashkenazi tradition, that's the name of this ta'am. It is really, it's a disjunctive ta'am. So, Hamotzi etchem mitachat sivlot Mitzrayim. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see the English for this. Go ahead, Frank. And I will. And I will take you to be my people, and I will be your God, and you shall know that I, the Lord, am your God, who freed you from the labors of the Egyptians. Okay. So that's ולקחתי אתכם לי לעם, והייתי לכם לאלוהים, וידעתם כי אני אדוני אלוהיכם, המוציא אתכם מתחת סבלות מצרים. And again, you can see the Weqatal, 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 showing the result or the cause, okay, that we have here in this sequence of actions. By the way, you know that the number 4 is very important in the Seder night, and when asking why do we have 4 cups of wine, one of the common answers, there are many answers, I'm not covering all of them, is 4 leshonot shel geula, words of redemption. wəhōṣētî, wəhiṣṣaltî, wega'altî, velakachti. Okay? And when we pour the 5th cup, the cup for Eliyahu, we say והבאתי אתכם אל הארץ. So this is the process of the redemption. Let's see the last verse. Guys. Betsy, go ahead.
והבאתי אתכם אל הארץ אשר נשאתי את ידי לתת אותה לאברהם, ליצחק וליעקב, ונתתי אותה לכם מורשה, אני אדוני.
Right, ונתתי אותה לכם מורשה, אני אדוני. Right. Again, והבאתי אתכם אל הארץ. Note that והבאתי has an ultimate accent, as opposed to נסעתי with the 2 accentations that whenever we see 2, we know it's a penultimate accent, because והבאתי is a Weqatal, and in the Weqatal we see the accent shifting to the last syllable, while נסעתי is a katal, and we can see the penultimate accent. ונתתי אותה לכם מורשה, אני אדוני. You can see in ונתתי the kadma that is not at the end of the word, so we know it's a kadma, as opposed to a pashta, which is at the end of the word. Okay, I know it's confusing. Okay, English.
I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will give it to you for a possession.
Right.
I, the Lord.
Right.
Nathaniel, in the Hebrew, does it say, I raise my hand? Is that what it says for
Nasati et yadi is to raise one's hand in a promise. Okay, in taking an oath. Okay. And you can see here a process of redemption, as we said, the maybe stages of redemption. This is how it was viewed by commentators. A process of redemption, if you will, a physical freedom, bring you out. A covenant, I will take you, okay, you shall know, you should recognize me. I will eventually leading you to the land, okay? ונתתי אותה לכם מורשה, okay? So this morasha is kind of a status of something that is not just temporarily yours, but an eternal land. Okay. ונתתי אותה לכם מורשה. Okay. Moving on to, by the way, part of the reason is וידעתם כי אני אדוני אלוהיכם, okay, the knowledge of God, which we have not just for the people of Israel, but also for the Egyptians, as we can see from the next verse, as we shall see in the Haftara.